So the album's done.
That whole verse ain't in. That whole verse not in.
Are we battling tomorrow, Trap?
Hov don't even give you a damn verse until like 48 hours before the album release.
Hold on, Dean. What you said, Trap? So what time are we locking in for sure?
Yeah,
Timberland, what would you prefer? Would you prefer 2 or would you prefer 2 or noon?
We can do on your ET?
No, I'm saying whatever. Just tell me the time, and I'm gonna facilitate that because I'm gonna work around y'all time.
I thought y'all were doing 3 o'clock.
Let's do 4 your time. ET.
Lakeithia, that work for you?
3 or 4
no,
is fine.
That's 12 my time.
Listen, as long as
that's one my time. If it's 4 y'all time.
As long as Lakeithia and LK good with it, I'm good.
Now I was saying 4 y'all time, which would be 1 my time.
That's my representative. If Lakeithia and LK say it's good, it's good.
Okay, that's cool.
What's the battle?
Let's work. Let's work.
What's the battle?
The battle is sit back and mind your business.
Now, this is my thing about that whole battle, though, B. Hold on, let me tell you something real quick, though, right? This is my thing. This is what I don't kind of agree with when it comes to the battle, though, right? So if you saying you doing 757, which is multiple cities within Virginia, what wouldn't be fair for him to be able to do 718 and be, you know what I'm saying, different boroughs though too, though. But it's not all the boroughs though.
Well, I'll explain. So the 7 cities I'm talking about are a 30-minute radius of each other. It's so you can
same thing with New York.
7 cities.
Same thing with New York.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. That's a fact. Yo, listen, bro. Hold on a second, John. Hold on a second. I live in Queens, right? I live in 718, bro. I could get to Brooklyn in 20 minutes. I can get to Manhattan in 20 minutes. I can get to the Bronx in 20 minutes. That's a fact.
No, what I'm saying is that I'm not talking about getting somewhere in 30 minutes. I'm talking about to drive through the entire 7 cities is 30 minutes. You can't, if I drove through Manhattan, that would be an hour to get through Manhattan. I'm saying to drive through the entire 7 cities collectively, it's 30 minutes.
Hold on.
You can fit.
But hold on.
Let me
New York's not that big, man. New York City's not that big.
I'm gonna show you something too.
All right, let me finish my words. So, what I'm saying is that originally this was like a Timbaland versus Swizz Beatz thing, or whatever like that. And I said to him, he should pick somebody where he's from. So then we got into producers from Queens and the producers from my area, because you can fit my area inside of Queens. So that's what we agreed upon. I'm not reneging. We're not revising it. We agreed on Queens.
Listen, so this to me is a
mute argument. No. This is a mute argument because we've already agreed.
It's cool.
It's not even an argument.
All you need is Queens, though.
I'm not tripping.
And by the way, Trap, he gets to use there's like 40 to 50 producers from Queens. I'm only using 7 men and 1 woman. So this shouldn't even be a contention. He has 4 to 5 more times producers than me. He has way more catalog than me. You got Marley Marl, you got Large Professor, you got all these.
You ain't got to name them. You ain't got to name them. You know who it is.
You got Q-Tip, you got Irv Gotti. They're not underground producers, right?
Who was saying Queens?
Yo, you niggas gonna keep playing. Not you, Himble. I'm talking to whoever just keep trying to be cute.
Saying Queens.
Let them do that. That don't mean nothing. Let them do that.
I don't know how you keep traveling to these different parts.
Your whole I'm gonna get smoked thing. This is my thing.
You gonna get smoked.
This is my thing.
Bad.
How am I gonna
don't
get
bring none of them R&B hits. Them R&B joints ain't gonna make it.
Y'all don't got them, so I can't play them. How am I gonna get smoked bad when there's Queens rappers that needed R beats to get hot? I'm confused.
Queens rappers need R beats to get hot.
They didn't get it from us.
That nigga made you owe me, B. Get out of here, man. Made the first song he ever made in his career.
We'll see. All right.
He made you owe me. You better play. You gonna play you owe me?
We'll see.
You better play you owe me.
But I say one thing though.
I know you is.
You owe me first. Because y'all definitely owe us. Y'all definitely owe us.
Y'all owe Harlem. Y'all owe Harlem your whole career.
And this be my problem.
Yeah.
Hopefully you owe me first.
Hold on, LK want to say something. Yeah, okay.
Shawty, say what's your price?
Hold on, LK.
Himbaland, hold on. Himbaland, hold on. what y'all should do, since y'all already have the date and time, won't y'all go ahead and create the event or the room?
I'm making a picture right now.
Huh?
I'm making a picture. No, you're right. I'm gonna do it right now.
I'm gonna say this
that way.
Yeah.
People could, see it and they know it's a date and time, because I know you
I'm
guys
gonna say this respectfully.
So what's the time we locking in on? What time we locking in on before I make the event?
4 p.m. East ET.
All right, 4 p.m. Okay.
3 p.m. Eastern. I'm gonna say this. I know some of you niggas in here want to battle, but you're not. You don't got to talk about where you're from. We don't got to talk about your city. It's not about you. And if you bring up your city,
bro.
Like if you bring up you battle to lose, you try to center yourself and bring up your city.
Loser,
I'm like whoever it is, like that's the thing. Yo, some of you niggas don't realize, like, bro, we don't care, bro. Just mute the fuck up. You don't got nothing to do with what's going on right now. Just shut up and go vote tomorrow, bro. You're not important right now. Just mute up. Y'all gotta stop.
That's why you in here trying to bend the rules.
Stop. Just stop. Just stop. You're not important. You're not important.
Trying to go from Queens.
You just want to censor yourself. You're just looking for attention. You're just looking for attention. Just stop it. You're just looking for attention. We don't care. We don't care about your beats.
Because you're picking the music.
John, stop arguing with him. Just leave it all.
Nah, just like these niggas be needing attention. I just be wanting to take it from them.
You can't pick a record.
You know what I'm saying? They gotta stop.
So yeah, 4 p.m. is the time, right? That's what we're doing.
Yes.
Okay,
yep.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
I be trying, Steve, when your mom, like when you're a little kid and if she told you to sit your ass down for 3 times and you did so, she'd be like, sit your motherfucking ass down.
Pay me back like 40 acres of blacks. Pay me back when you shake it like that.
Can't believe that song is stuck in my head.
You small time, my ball.
I know you're gonna play that. I know you're gonna play that.
That was going crazy on that shit.
Nah, I tell niggas all the time though. I tell niggas all the time. When that song first dropped, niggas fucked with that song when it first dropped. It wasn't until Hov said something about this shit that niggas started dissing that shit. Cause before that, niggas was fucking with that shit.
Yo, you try to get into the R&B joints where they play it, they be going crazy when they get played nowadays. People be like, they let loose.
But you can also play something like a phenomenon. You gonna play that one too?
Something like we didn't make that. Y'all gotta own that.
You ain't playing that.
We didn't make that.
They call me Big Ellie.
That was a good beat though. That was not a bad.
We didn't make phenomenon, so I don't know who did that.
That was.
Which one you made? Which one you made for LL Cool J? You made one for LL Cool J?
That was not a bad.
He made the Big Ellie song. He made Big Ellie.
That was Diddy.
No, he made Big Ellie. They call me Big Ellie. Huh?
Yeah, Timbaland made that. Yeah.
He made the Big Ellie song.
That wasn't
trash.
That wasn't a bad beat. Headsprung was not a bad beat.
That shit was trash.
This is beat. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Headsprung is a great song and it has survived the test of time.
You okay to go play What's Love Got to Do?
That's a great song as well.
Don't play.
All right, stop naming. We gotta stop naming the song. We gotta stop naming the song. We bugging now. We naming the song. We gotta name the song. Hold on, chill, John, chill out. Mute. Somebody mute John. Mute John, please. Please mute John.
Murder, yo.
What happened, Trap?
Don't play that. Don't gotta play that.
I see my eyes through the forest green. I'm getting green because I'm in the train and I'm from Queensbridge and there's bridges and around me I see Queens.
You know how I go. You talking about the beat. You talking about the beat though. You talking about the beat.
You can't disrespect the gods.
You talking about the beat. You don't want to start talking about that. God bless the dead Magoo. You don't want to talk about that God bless the dead Magoo.
That's my man. Took the stand, but I never.
Start bringing the Magoo verses up.
They niggas ain't even know what beat that was.
Y'all better go get your beef and broccolis and box.
Oh my, these niggas is crazy, man. These niggas
didn't even know what beat that was. You thought that was Azimmer?
Nah, I'm just saying he was trying to play it to prove. You know what I'm saying, to prove something.
I wasn't playing it.
Whoever.
I played that.
Okay, well, I don't know why you did that.
And it better be a slide
give
up
me
box cutter.
the loving, and I know you getting bored. Play that.
It's like it's funny.
No, that's my shit. All jokes aside, that's my shit. I like that record.
You trying to
I argued with Ebro about that, about something else we was doing. I argued
All
about
you
that
gotta
song
know,
being dope.
Nigga
That
got
song is my
records
song.
for
It man had the WAP chin on that song. Man,
Niggas
Chin
got
was like he shot the whole
I
eight
like
ball
Ja
before he
Rule's
shot
flow
the video.
on the second verse. Ja Rule's flow, that was hard. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, y'all. I'm about to send y'all something. Some of y'all, some of
Nah, I ain't gonna, yo, you know what the best sessions is?
You said what?
You know what the best sessions is?
Mm-mm.
When the artists come in, listen to beats and don't record and leave. Even if it's
like
the coldest.
And they go home.
You know why? I get paid regardless.
Yeah.
Whether I hit record or not.
You're like, well, you came in.
Mm-hmm.
Run me my money and go home.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me if y'all fucking with this.
That's the best type of session. Oh, you don't want to record? Okay.
Have y'all everybody seen Sinners yet?
Nah, I tried to watch it the other night. I had a bad copy.
It was
I know.
Let me
I'm
tell you
ready
about
to
Oh,
have
this is
talk
fire.
about it.
I was
Hurry up.
You like-
I'm not gonna spoil
you
it.
fuck
I'm
with
not
it?
gonna spoil it. I'm not gonna spoil it. But Trap John. There is a scene in the movie that's one of the best music scenes in the history of cinema.
And that shit was fire.
You
shit
gonna
was
feel
fire.
you gonna feel so amazing to be black and in music when you see
Yeah.
that scene. You know what I'm talking
Yo,
about. You
Himberland,
see it.
I ain't
You
gonna
gonna
feel
feel
you,
so
right?
proud to be
Listen,
black and in music. I'm
I
telling
want
you.
to say it though, Himberland.
I stood up in the movie theater when that whole happened. I was like,
that shit
man,
was
am I
so
really
fire,
watching
bro.
this?
Like, oh my
I
god.
ain't quite seen anything like that in
I might watch
cinema.
it
Like
tonight.
You
it
know
was.
what I feel
I've
like
never
that?
seen a
You
scene
know what
like
I
that
feel
in music.
about when I see Sinners, when I seen the preview, I felt like I was about to walk in the nigga up version of From Dusk Till Dawn, and I'm all the way here for
Oh
it.
my god.
But
No,
I'm
no,
just saying,
that's
but
one of my
John,
favorite. That's one of my favorite movies.
John, I'm saying this scene, John, is not. You're not gonna expect it. It's gonna come. It's gonna just when you see it,
it's
you're
fire.
not gonna
It's
expect
a
it. It comes
very,
out of
it's a
nowhere.
very layered
So you
movie. Very layered.
gonna compare the juke joint to the titty twister?
Wait,
Hey man, all I gotta say is let me take a page out of my boy Dirty Book. Y'all welcome. You know what I'm
He
saying?
do it from Oakland. It's a fact he from
Oakland
Oakland.
gave
No,
y'all another gift.
Dirty
It's a fact he
Gone.
from Oakland.
Don't you take no pages out his book, D-Nas. Not
No,
at
we
all.
don't.
Hey man, you're
Yo,
welcome,
dude,
man. We gave y'all another gift.
It's a
let me
fact
tell
he from
you, yo,
Oakland.
listen,
You're welcome.
you're gonna make y'all niggas gonna make Oakland, New York. Y'all gonna make Oakland and ADHD, New York, and everywhere else. You're
Oh
gonna
shit,
hate
his
that
main
shit.
character.
I'm
Hey, how you doing?
I'm saying like this. So the thing about Sinners, I'm tell you about Sinners, bro.
Who talking inside a club?
That's Georgina.
No, it's not. It's Donald.
Oh, I don't know. I can't hear who it is. Who is that?
It was Donald.
That's Donald. He muted up.
No, I was just saying, like, all that, you're welcome. They're like the vampires trying to come in.
Hey
Nah,
man,
y'all
you're
got it.
welcome.
Who?
Nah,
California?
all the ones always trying to make everyone feel like everything happens.
The individuals.
Can we come in? Can we come in? Can we come in? Nah, you're good.
What we talking about?
You see
welcome.
Sinner?
No,
She said
I haven't.
California. She said.
Oh well, yeah, with the context clues, but like
Yeah, with like California and everyone, like Oakland and that shit, like how they always make it seem like they with it.
No,
Nah,
we
it's just a
doing
reminder
this.
of the greatness.
Here we go.
Nah, but
He was
it's
saying that.
Just a reminder.
Georgina, he was saying that because the director from Oakland. That's why.
I know.
Oh,
Ryan's
okay.
from there, but he don't act like that though.
Well, I don't act like that. So
That's because you from New York.
who from New York?
You is.
No.
You a New York sympathizer.
That's why you're welcome. You cannot come in.
Okay,
That my
go to
nigga
sleep,
D-Nas.
Timberland. Yeah, what's happening, brother?
What's up with it, man? It's Raw, baby. What's going down?
Yeah, I know what it is. What's going on, G? How you doing?
Man, shit, thugging, man. You know how it go down, smoking weed, selling rice.
There we go. Hey, man, I just joined the club yesterday, man. You know what I'm saying? It's my Earl
smoking
Stevens,
weed?
man. I'm officially in the 40s.
Oh, you hit that
Oh, happy belated, B. Happy belated, B.
Hey.
Happy belated.
Bitch now.
Oh, welcome, D-Nas. Welcome.
Yeah, man.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Welcome
man.
to
I'm
the
tired of
club.
these young punks in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Looking down on
Yeah, I
everybody.
already know they've been calling
41
you
on
Uncle
Saturday,
School
yo.
and shit already.
Saturday coming
They
up.
called me Uncle since I was 27.
Happy early birthday, my
Hi,
nigga.
your kids. Hi, your
Oh, it was
children.
yesterday.
Appreciate you.
Hi, your
What?
wives.
I turned 41 in July.
There we go.
That shit don't even feel right. Nigga old as fuck.
You know why they call it
That's
July,
not
right?
old.
Why they call it July? Oh, yeah, that's deep, brother.
Do the knowledge, brother.
That's deep, brother.
There we go.
There you go.
They said every month. They said every month go like that though for some reason. I forgot. I seen some video that said that shit though. Some TikTok shit that was saying some shit like that.
It was like the Rumbles or some shit, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
That's just when I was born. I can't
every month.
And what?
I ain't had nothing to do with that.
Mm-hmm. All right, it's on the top, y'all. It's on the top.
Tell you this, at 40, I'm still running faster than these young niggas, and I can
States of
rap better than
Sound.
these young niggas.
What is States of Sound? So it's each state. Okay. There we go.
Yeah, man, should be a good one. Should be a good one.
So to the title of the room, man. Where's hip hop really heading in the next 5 years, man? Sonically,
independent,
culturally, politically, where y'all feel like it's heading to?
I feel like
white people.
I feel like hip hop is going to evolve and start to become more eclectic in terms of like the sound of the genre. I think because what I noticed is from like the 2000 all the way to like really 2020, what kept hip hop always on like the up and up to me was the fact that it seemed like there was always a new sound emerging. And like, especially when you look at the 2010s, even like Rubbing Off the Paint by like YB and Namir, like that Spins 808 really kind of took a wave with a bunch of producers from that. Like you see like Jetsons 808, like you see different sounds and rap styles become popular and new. But for the last few years, we ain't heard nothing new. Like everything that we've heard is already a style that exists. And so I think the only thing is to start taking it to mixing it with other genres more often.
I feel like hip hop has always been eclectic, and it from the jump it's always been eclectic. But being eclectic is nothing new.
I'm saying mainstream.
Hold on, Georgina, your mic kind of muffled.
Is it?
Yeah, get off the pillow.
I am.
I am. I know.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you good.
No, I feel like hip hop was always eclectic, and I just feel like it's like even mainstream wise, it's always been that way because hip hop is an eclectic art form because it blends multiple genres within one. So it's eclectic in its form. Yes, I know a lot of people want to go pop, but hip hop has done pop. What I feel that next, you said 5 years. What I see is going to bend and like swivel towards the old school way and what it was like in the 2000s. That's what I'm feeling. If that makes any sense, it's gonna be like a squiggle line. It's not gonna go like these, like all those new sounds that came and went within the last like 3 years. They came, they were here. All that like the auto-tune, the whining, crying rap stuff. It's like here and it's not there. But the stuff that seems like it's lasting is the stuff that has a blend, a perfect mixture of like the old school, new school, everything. Like it's gonna be like a little squiggle line. But hip hop has always been eclectic, and being eclectic is nothing new in hip hop. And I need everyone to stop thinking that shit is new. It's not new. Thumbs down because you're young. You don't know what it is, but hip hop has always been eclectic. Go do your history. Period, Chris.
You know I'm not stupid, right?
I know you're not stupid, but you're not. What you're saying doesn't make sense. But because hip hop has always been eclectic.
No,
I think in the next 5 years, hip hop gonna
there's-
move into the Jersey club territory, and then
that
they're gonna
already
mix that with
happened. All
Afrobeat.
y'all are talking about things that already happened. Listen, when
I said
I'm
you didn't
saying,
hear me. You didn't hear me finish, brother. I said, and then it's gonna blend itself with Afrobeat. They're gonna do the
They already
Jersey
did the
club.
Jersey stuff.
yeah, they already did
that
that.
already happened.
He's saying it's gonna be more. Let him finish saying what he's saying first. Let him
Y'all
finish saying
niggas
what he's saying.
literally listen to half of what I'm saying. I say Jersey club, and y'all ready to come off mic. I said they're gonna blend it with the Afrobeat. That's what's gonna happen. Jersey club gonna get blended in with Afrobeat, and then they might throw in some of that Brazilian shit that's popping off right now in terms of the club level. I think it's gonna be that blend right there. Drill might still be a little bit alive in terms of how they pattern the hi-hats, but for like the overwhelming sound is gonna go towards that direction. Brazil, Afrobeat, and the Jersey club.
I can bet money on it. It's gonna have more the old school sound, like the roots of it, than all that other stuff trying to blend in to make like these whirly sounds. Because you can hear it now how people are like rhyming, even on all those other beats. Like they're going back to the roots of the shit. Like it's not gonna be like all this like whirly stuff, like the cruise and all that stuff, like what y'all want it to be. It's not.
So the thing that I was saying already is happening now. When you said it's gonna go back to like the early 2000s sound, that's already happening now. Like that's currently happening right now with that'll be
I said
over.
a squiggle line.
Let him
No,
finish.
listen, that'll be. I'm saying after the 5 years, like when we get there, that's already gonna have passed. Just the same way, like people said about the auto-tune rap, that ran for a decade, not 3 years, right? So like, this has to go somewhere else than what all the ideas I've been hearing. That's why I just said when I said eclectic, of course hip hop is eclectic, but I mean like we're gonna have to really start bringing things to the forefront that haven't been done on a mainstream level, because obviously everything's
What example? Please give an example.
Let me think. So when you look at people like who's new, like who's really doing
somebody got to mute up.
Artist named Break. There's this artist named Breakins. Kind of like emo-ish dude, right? But when you hear his production, he's truly blending genres where it's like, yeah, this has been done, but not on this level. And I think when you start, that style of production is actually going to give way to probably like a lot of the future of what the underground scene is now. I agree, Jua. Once it hit commercials, it was kind of over. But yeah, like I think it's gonna have to start evolving a little bit more than what it has, and it'll get there. It'll be, people will say it's not hip hop at first, but it'll get there. It always happens.
Chris, I think we're saying the same thing.
No, you're saying go back.
No.
I'm not saying go back.
Let me say something.
No, I'm not saying go back. I'm just saying it's all blended and morphing into the same thing, which is why I said a squiggly line. But I do feel like people are more rhyme and storytelling. Like there's like a more, I want to say more. It's like this, like a little. People are like doing more boom bap-ish things now. Like there's like root level like storytelling in hip hop now with all the other stuff. Like that's what I mean. It's not like going back. We always have to go back to go forward. Like you can't. It's not either or. So if it's either or, then hip hop dies. So that's all. That's what it is. So I said a squiggly line. It's like a little S.
Man, all that niche sound niggas to that shit is not going to no super niche. That shit, all of that niche shit is gonna keep going, coming and going for us. You can't have a
squiggly line.
If you can't have an overall sound, like this shit is going to independence, no matter what it sounds like. That's what is more important than any of that sound.
But John,
shit.
what does independence sound?
Let him finish.
No sound. Independence sounds like nothing. I'm saying, I'm not talking about the music. I'm saying that shit can go anywhere. The music gonna go where it go. Whatever people gonna be attracted to is what people is gonna make. Where it's going is just independence. It's just going to be segmented. And yes, more people are going to I do agree though. People probably are going to start making more quote unquote traditional music or music they want to hear. I don't think everything is just going, like all of that sounds of fucking, like, nigga, listen, we don't care about sounds of Brazil. It's SOBs. Like we don't. We niggas don't care about none of that shit. We want to hear shit that we used to. And it's gonna get back. I feel it's gonna get back to griminess. Like the gritty shit. Shit is gonna reflect how niggas is feeling outside. That's the problem. The sound don't really match what's going on. Like niggas is struggling. Niggas is trying to make fucking dance music. Like, nah, that's like not really what's gonna be it. You know what I'm saying? Niggas gonna make more music, tell it to the shit that they actually going through. And once more people figure, I don't gotta go to this label. I just gotta figure out how to get it off this DSP or whatever. That's where it's gonna go. It's not so much.
I have a question. So, like, somebody mentioned the Brazilian sound. So, like, when you say the Brazilian sound, like, are you mentioning like bossa nova or like what kind of Brazilian sound are we referring to?
It's called Baie Funk. It's super bass heavy and then has a large breath in between when the snares hit. And there's a focus on like shakers and then the like the cowbells also included in there.
Yeah. That's why, like, when you said that, I was like, is it bossa nova? But you just said something else. Okay.
It's called Baie Funk.
Okay, yeah.
A lot of times they infuse it with, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yo, can you put that name in the chat, please? Landslide? Put that name in the chat, please. Thank you.
It's what a soul is and the music is.
This niggas really want.
What happened?
Niggas even the music anymore.
Yeah.
What did he say?
He has a pink ticket.
Yeah, why y'all let him up on the stage with a pink ticket? What's up, bro? Go ahead.
Hey, what y'all think about these new underground kids like Netspin and
They suck.
Until
Yo,
Japan?
let me tell you, Jewel, right?
Good.
When I was watching Rolling Loud and I seen that dude come out, I was confused. I didn't know what the fuck I was watching, B. Yo, that dude came out. We was watching that shit. We was doing a StreamYard. I'm like, yo, who is this kid? I called my daughter.
Man,
I'm like, yo,
white kids love this shorty, man.
Yo, bro,
white kids love
you had to
shorty.
see the little homies he brung out. He brung out some little Rugrat, little looking like little Tommy and shit like that. And Angelica, the nigga was looking like Angelica and shit, B. The shit was crazy, B. I'm like, what the fuck is this stuff? The shit was bugged out. My daughter knew exactly who it was, though. I didn't know who it was. I did not know who it was.
I'm telling you.
But
I did not know who it was at all.
The thing about
it's a few of them.
The thing about them niggas is they're not gonna stick like, and I'm not saying that on some hating shit. It's really just like when you look at the people that inspired them, like they don't have a half of their presence, like on socials, in music, like in skill set. Like it's not gonna work. You
don't think so, Chris?
No, you gotta think about it, bro. They all look up to like Uzi, Cardi,
Juice
Trippie
World.
Redd.
These are Juice World Extension kids.
Well, I mean, yeah, like, but that's like the Uzi, Cardi, Trippie Redd, like all the bro. They're not, because the thing is, all the people I just named, they still have the skill set of real rapping. These kids are skipping all the work those people put in, and they're just like, yeah, I'm imitating their final product. And it's like that's like trying to be Steph Curry without ever playing a game of rec league basketball in your life. Like it don't go like that. And so it's the music doesn't feel the same. It's not like because I be keeping up with all that whole scene. Like it's not.
But the white kids, I'm gonna be honest with you. I went to a Netspin show like 6 months ago. It felt like a punk rock show. Like the white kids responded to that shit. It wasn't that many black kids in there, but the white shorties was going crazy.
Well, we're a decade into that though.
Yeah,
like, that's been happening.
But why is that a barometer?
Well, no, I mean, I thought it was strange. I ain't gonna lie. As an old head, I'm in a quote unquote hip hop concert. It's probably 1,000 kids in there. It might have been like 30 black kids in the whole show, but it's still considered hip hop. I was like, is this where we going? Like this shit about to get whitewashed? Like what the fuck is going on?
Then that's not where we're going. That's
my thing
probably
is,
just where
the problem I have with that is that like people say like whitewash, but black execs and A&Rs are behind all these white kids.
I know. It's kind of crazy.
It's like, why do we even complain about it when we're the ones doing it?
Well, you know what it is. I'm gonna be honest with you. In the business, I hate to say this, When a motherfucker got a white shorty, they feel like they're gonna get more response from the buildings.
But even like if there's a bunch of white kids in there and then like black kids aren't responding, is that for us or no? And why are we paying attention to that? And why are we focusing on that if ours are not gravitating towards that?
Because they're capturing market share, they're capturing numbers, they're capturing streams.
Is that capturing the culture though?
Well, unfortunately, it's kind of synonymous now, right? Even though quote unquote the culture, like our shit. Remember now, 80% of the kids who buy hip hop ain't our shit. It's suburban kids. So I mean, at what point are we gonna start realizing what we like and prefer as the quote unquote culture isn't necessarily what's driving the numbers no more? So there's like a conflict between the two. That's all.
There is, but there isn't though. Like I don't know, because I'm a suburban black, but I don't know.
It's weird to go to a quote unquote hip hop concert and like it's less than 50 kids there that look like us. That's all.
But that's not a surprising though. How's that a surprise to you though when the consumers of it is 70 to 80%? You know what I'm saying? Them no. They the ones buying the hard tickets and shit like that.
Exactly.
So,
So what are we saying? What's our culture versus what's the you know what it is? We gotta stop separating culture from business.
Concerts are not affordable though. They're not.
Yeah, but you see black kids at like Rolling Loud. You see black kids in most of these spaces. Now you starting to not even see them in some of these spaces. Which
because concerts are not affordable. We're outpriced.
My thing is those type of artists that you're talking about, like the net spends and stuff, the ones that have a black and white audience are the ones who last. Like you need the like credibility. That's why Uzi dropped 3 mixtapes in a year and was damn near a big A-lister off of it. Like these other kids is just like I know it's like some real niche, like underground. Like that nigga will not even that Netspin will never surpass Yeet.
Okay,
if we're being for real.
Don't tell Interscope that.
Interscope the one backing up.
I mean, I don't think.
Yep. He signed Dash and him signed him.
Yeah. I don't think anybody know much of anything. Like, I think people just be trying shit. The more people like I talk to and I find out stuff, I'm like, oh, everybody's just trying shit, bro. Like, they could sign you.
But I think all in all, like real shit, like if it's honest, if it's true, if it's like created well, and it has like spirit and soul into it, it's going to last. That's where it's going to go. Like all this other stuff, like people are trying to chase a sound, chase a genre, whether it's that Brazil shit or like genre bending. Like just make good art and make good music, and that's where it's going to go. Because it's like it's too much chasing sounds, and that's why everyone sounds alike, and that's why this shit is whack now.
I think that another genre that's going to come out too. I know in the UK, Garage is kind of coming back.
Garage?
Yeah.
Garage came back 3-4 years ago, bro.
Garage
is popping.
Hold on, Chris.
Garage.
So, yeah, Garage. So I know a lot of the artists switched from that were doing a lot heavy in the drill sound that came out the UK. They got more back to like the garage and grime. And I think house is going to make its way a little deeper into hip hop.
House never went anywhere.
Yeah, I was about to say, bro, all these things been
House
popping.
never went anywhere.
Jungle Brothers.
Y'all keep like, nobody's saying these things don't exist. We're talking about where is hip hop going to be in 5 years, right? What's going to be influenced? What's going to be accentuated? So when I say this, I'm not saying that this shit don't exist. Nobody's saying that. When we hear,
we didn't say it didn't exist. We said it never.
Keep saying it been here. Of course it been here. Of course house been here. Of course.
No, hold on, Landslide. What I'm trying to say is,
I said went anywhere.
People like K Tronada and Pink Panthers are still very popular over the last few years, and they've been doing that, and other people have been doing it with them that are also very popular.
And Kalella's been doing it for the last 10 years.
Yeah, and even though it's technically a spinoff with Go-Go, like Gold Link's been doing that too. Like,
it's never gone anywhere. That's what we're saying.
So too, y'all got it, man. Y'all got it.
Where hip hop going in the
No, go
next
ahead.
5
Say what you're
years,
saying
hip
though.
hop.
Say what you're saying though, Landslide.
It's just, it's like, it's. I'm good, bro. I can't have this conversation.
No, I feel what he's saying though. What he's saying basically is that yeah, it's there, but it's gonna be pushed to the forefront. That's what he's basically saying now.
But it
I
was an
think what you're
attempt, and
saying.
that shit didn't. Drake did it, but it didn't really take like that to the rest of the industry. It was an attempt to move it to the forefront with the house sound. That was the attempt.
Yeah, I guess so.
It just didn't take to the culture. And I feel like, honestly, hip-hop in the next 5 years...
Messengers matter. Messengers
Go ahead,
matter.
Fat Answer.
I just feel like hip-hop is going back to the dance floor, bro. Like, it's a simple answer, but it's true and it's logical, bro. We going back to niggas grabbing girls shaking ass on men. Like, we going back to the dance floor, bro. Niggas are circling up, dancing again. Like, that's the next evolution of the cycle. Look at the cycle before. The grimy 90s shit to the shiny shoe. I feel like we about to go into that shiny shoe era, quote unquote, but in a newer way, in a modern way.
I think in order for that to happen, they gotta take bottle service out the clubs.
Cause you gotta think, look what Sexy Drill was.
That's a fact, Trap. Because they ain't no dance
take
floor.
hookah out the clubs, Trap.
They gotta take bottle service out the club, yeah. Once bottle service became big, niggas stopped dancing. Niggas took over the dance floor. It wasn't no more dance floor no more.
Much money on bottle service is not going nowhere.
Bro, it's a way. They're gonna do both, bro. You gotta think of the music, where the music is going, bro.
It's certain clubs for that now. Well, I mean, at least like out here, it ain't most clubs don't got no dance. It's like you gotta go to like particular spots to get that type of vibe, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? That shit ain't going nowhere.
You gotta be able to make a bop now. A bop is gonna bring people to the floor, bro.
You always had. I don't know why you saying nah. Like even you saying like dancing and shit. Like nigga, when did that shit go away? That shit has not been like non-existent for like it's been a thing for this nigga snap and pop era. Like that shit's been a thing every year.
When was the last time you went to a club with a dance floor?
Hold on.
Don't be no dance floor, Drew.
Hold on though. I don't mean dancing like snap and pop, nigga. I mean like Doodle Brown and back that ass up and yeah, nigga, them joints, nigga. When you grabbing a girl and you getting sweaty
There's
on the
no
floor.
dance floor, DX.
I'm telling, that's where the music is going though.
They pop
The
ass
clubs
in the section.
adapt to the music,
Yeah,
not
they
the
do.
music don't
Pop
adapt
ass.
to the
The
club.
world is
Go ahead, Judy.
no. I was just
Go ahead.
saying the word is antisocial now. Like there ain't no dance floors. No one's dancing.
People are dancing. It just depends on like who.
The Latins still dance. Go to Latin spots. They still dance.
Miss
Yeah.
Esperanza knows
People are
that.
still dancing,
Yeah,
but
who
they're
is
dancing.
this,
They're
man?
dancing.
Well,
They're in the
there-
middle of a
Wait,
busy
because there are literal like clubs for dancing now. Like you can go to spots where they dance, and then like because like I was at Revel or whatever the fuck in Atlanta.
Yeah, that
bro.
better be
It's
a woman
literally
saying that.
only sections, and
For
the
real,
only
for
place
real.
that's not a section is like the walk through area. You
Show
walk to
watchers.
a bar or whatever. I'm like, this
That's
shit
most
crazy.
clubs now,
Please
Chris.
be.
This shit.
But y'all acting like why y'all acting like you can't dance with a girl in your section?
Because it's kind of awkward.
I said they be doing that, but like
Nah.
I'm saying though, but you gonna be with the same 6 people all night. Like,
Exactly. See, y'all young boys don't realize the dance floor is where you used to get your action at, get your numbers, get your
Lit. Big
We used to
dogs
spin
in
around
that
the dance
fucking
floor.
corner.
Drew is gonna get back
Big
to that.
dogs in the corner.
That's a fact.
That's what I'm saying is coming
Yeah.
back. It's gonna get back to that. Watch, mark my words.
Telling you
No,
what,
they
man.
can't dance. That's what the issue is.
You could bop, you could do a 2-step, a little bop. You know what I
They
mean?
can't even do that now.
They make too much money on bottle service.
Yo, she's saying they don't got hips no more, bro. Maybe we used to have
Nah,
hips.
they can't even do that. They can't even snap.
All those people that be on TikTok dancing and y'all saying
That's
that
a
people
fact.
don't really be dancing.
People could
Nah,
dance.
but keep it right.
No, so there's a difference between dancing by yourself or in a group versus dancing with somebody else. When I say dancing, I'm talking about you and a woman, right? Or you're as a woman and you a man dancing together. Niggas ain't doing that now. Niggas, they hit you with a little bop one by one, try to look cool, smoke the hookah, pass it, then do their little bop again.
So you want them to like
Yo, if you
dance
go
close,
to a
wait, hold on,
bashment, you can still
Hey,
get some
Let
rhymes.
Lakeith go. Go.
Listen,
Go,
that's
Lakeith.
a
Hold on,
fucking
hold
fact.
on, hold on,
Oh,
y'all.
y'all
Go,
still
Lakeith.
talking? Okay. Like I was saying, so y'all want people to like dance really close, like the 70s or like the 80s, where they just like, you know,
Girl,
arms
you're
on each other.
dancing close.
Right, like a slow dance. Is that what we're saying?
Yes.
No, we want
You've been making it hard for me.
I mean, it's
It'll
like an
be
evolution to that too. Like,
it'll be less single women.
The last time I saw a club go up like that was the premiere of fucking what's that joint with is it called Big Bank with fucking Big Sean and Nicki Minaj. That shit dropped on Sunset Boulevard. And that was one of the only times in the last maybe 10 years where like I saw every chick grab a pole, a wall, bend over, and they didn't give a fuck who was behind them. It was lit. Yeah, but ever since then, it's been hookah, hookah, hookah. And
Well,
niggas still over
so
there in the
as a nigga who threw a decent amount of house parties, I would say what kills the vibe now is the phones, nigga. Like
Yeah, that
the
too.
idea, because and not cause like niggas is on their phones, but the idea of if some embarrassing shit used to happen, it was just fun and niggas laughed and you kept it pushing. Now that shit's going on Twitter. Now you might have to live with that shit. Like it bro. Yeah, nah. The phones change everything, bro. I watch people's behavior change completely, and like, I don't know. I think
So if
we
that's
just
the
fucked
case, they
everything
should
up.
start handling. They should start handling parties the way they did. I went to the Improv Club when I was in Cali, and when I went to go see the comedy show, and they got to put the phone in the bag, and they give you the bag.
Yeah, in the sleeve. Put your shit
In the sleeve. You got to put it in the sleeve, and you get to keep your phone, but it's in the sleeve, locked up. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like that.
But I don't think that's an issue. I like if you.
No, I hear what he's saying though.
No, people be too into their phones.
I think even with the pictures, I think even with the picture taking, just like, yo, listen, when we was partying back, I don't want to sound super old because I was partying. We had a cell phone too though, but back in the days though,
Mars 2112.
no, yeah, Mars 2112. Yo, we wasn't worrying about taking a picture of the. No. Hear what I'm saying though. Hear what I'm saying though, bro. Hear what I'm saying though, bro. Hold on, can I finish saying what I'm saying, bro? So we wasn't worrying about taking a picture to keep like that. Yeah, we had 7 days, 7 nights to come around, take a picture of us one time, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't worrying about taking a picture when the bottles is coming out. You know what I'm saying? Worrying about taking a picture of everything in the spot, taking like that, those we can make sure we remember the memory. We kept the memory on a photo. You know what I'm saying? We had a photogenic memory of the shit though, B. You know what I'm saying? We kept it like that. So it's just like, yo, niggas be playing too cool. Trying to be cool and shit to make sure they get a cool picture and shit like that instead of having fun though. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what it be sometimes though too. That's what I mean. But yeah, we definitely had 7 days, 7 nights though, John. I'm on a bunch of those pictures.
That shit was like, I'm ducking.
I forgot the other one.
I forgot the other one too.
There was another one too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I used to take terrible pictures at the club. Terrible.
Be twisted.
Yo,
Like,
Chap,
don't
remember the backdrops in the front of the spot?
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Nigga,
had a fucking Shirt King. They had the Shirt King picture in the back, bitch.
Yeah,
Some
before
crazy
everybody
shit.
got fucked up.
Nah, niggas fucked
Now
up.
they just got the grass walls.
Fucked up.
Nah, y'all got some dope shit now though. No, hold on, Chris. I got some dope shit now. They got the shit now. Is you stand in the middle of the 360 shit that spin around you? That shit is fire. I ain't gonna hold you. That shit is fire.
You know what's crazy? The older I get, the more I like social events and like if I could find something at a house or like a social spot, I don't be fucking with the club like that, bro. The music be too loud. Like it's gonna be 4 DJs, they all gonna play the same exact set. I'd be like, damn, bro, this shit low key ass. Like,
you want a lounge, Chris? You got to go to a lounge. That's what we call old heads called a lounge.
Yeah,
they got food too,
yeah.
and you can sit down. You can sit down, you can eat.
Yeah. I be trying to kick it, bro. The club shit just be the floors be sticky. I'm like,
Especially
bro,
with a good DJ, Jude. Oh my god!
I seen one place niggas was throwing napkins like it was money. I was like, what the fuck is going on in here, man?
Nah,
bro. Chris, hold on. Let me say, hold on, please. Let me say something. Yo, that's saloon life, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. I have seen niggas go in fucking Buckhead Saloon, literally pull out $500 to go buy napkins, my nigga.
That's crazy.
And niggas are being that bitch throwing napkins all night.
Bro, John, it's a couple spots like that, bro. I've been to like 2 or 3, and if you have a section, they come and hand you like a box of unpackaged napkins, and they like wrapped up like
that's some new shit. I ain't never seen that shit yet. I'm old. I ain't seen that done yet.
You need black?
Trap, them niggas that give you a roll of bathroom napkins, bro.
That's
with the
crazy.
brown paper on it, like
no cap.
Like with the sparklers, my nigga. Like they coming with the stack of ones and shit, my nigga.
Hey,
where are they doing this at?
This Atlanta.
This Atlanta. Yo, there's some shit. It was some shit that burned down called Buckhead.
I was about to
Saloon.
say a couple weeks ago, somebody spilled a hookah with the napkins was on the floor, and it caught the whole building on fire.
That was Mother Nature doing that, killing.
Yeah, that's it. Stop this silly shit. What the fuck is y'all doing throwing napkins around? I been got hit in the head with a napkin. I'd be pissed off.
Napkins,
my sister, hey,
I be pissed off niggas threw money in the club. What the fuck, nigga?
My sister was there. My sister was at that place when it happened.
That shit is lit, bro. That shit be lit. Like,
that's not lit. That shit not gonna make it to New York, B. That shit not gonna make it to New York, B.
Might not.
Personally, I don't fuck with that shit. I thought it was the weirdest shit when I saw it.
Fuck you throwing napkins for, nigga?
Like,
I don't be fucking with that shit. That shit gonna make it to the West Coast? That's gonna make it to the West Coast, LK?
If I'm in a spot and nigga
if I see somebody do, but you know we tree huggers out here, so we gonna
that's right.
for killing trees to throw some fucking napkins. Like sit the fuck
you
down.
throw a napkin on me in the club, I'm knocking you out. Like the fuck.
Nah,
it's smacking in the whole stack in the face with a stack of napkins.
I'm snuffing that nigga. Don't let it.
I'm not even gonna lie, my nigga. If you snuff me in a club, I'm just gonna walk outside. As soon as you come out, I'm booming your dumb ass for even thinking that was cool. I'm gonna boom your fat ass.
Might put you in a coma in the club, nigga. You might not walk out, nigga. It's with the dead off.
Right? That's murder one.
With the dead off.
Nigga going
out in the EMS.
Uh-huh.
Word. Niggas used to fuck the club up having a fight in the club. Word. All this pussy up here, you want to fight.
You gonna be the one goofy nigga throwing a punch and die for it. For what? Trying to be cool.
Some shit in the trunk. Keep some shit in that trunk, right, Trap?
You gotta get to it.
That's a fact.
I can get to it. The hell done rose up if I get to it.
If
my son had the GTA. Yo, is TikTok officially more powerful than record labels?
No.
I ain't gonna lie. The last 3 songs that I kind of like, I got it off TikTok. I ain't even gonna.
You didn't get that Friend song off of TikTok. You did get off of TikTok, matter of fact. You did get the Friend song off of TikTok.
That one song that I found.
Yeah, that shit is fire.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I think it is more powerful than a record label because of the attention that you can curate and the ability for you to collect data on where to place your music.
TikTok can never be more powerful.
Let him finish.
I think the fact that you could be direct to consumer, pay for ads, they even have sites where you can pay influencers to, dance to your music or present products to your music. And you can get UGC content, which is super big in the industry right now. I think that shit is a very underexploited pathway to success for artists that's widely available with little to no funds. And you can get a similar result to what a label can do in regards to exposure and presence. I saw that shit happen with that Tommy nigga, Tommy Richmond. He blew up on CapCut first, and then CapCut exports right to TikTok. So a lot of the people that were using his videos in regards to the templates that CapCut were playing went straight to motherfucking TikTok and Instagram. Then I started hearing it on TikTok and Instagram, and then all of a sudden the nigga had his shit, buzzing on the radio and shit. So I think it's a nice pipeline where you can skip a major label and get your shit right to the same places and spaces that a major artist would have to get to as well.
Himbalance just said in the chat that Tommy's been signed. But I was just
why
going.
do y'all niggas do that shit? That shit so weird.
What's
Why y'all niggas do that shit?
I mean, niggas just giving you the fact, bro. You don't want to be factual.
Give proper information when the nigga be saying anything on stage to sound cool.
Word, niggas try to get it off.
My thing is this. My thing is this about
like, no, hold on. Let him answer
Hold
that.
on, let Chris go. Hold on. No, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. Go ahead, Chris.
I would like to answer it, but go ahead, Chris.
The reason I said no is because when you look at the sheer number of people putting stuff out on TikTok and you look at the amount of like successful artists, I think you got like it doesn't really equal out to it being like a thing that's gonna birth a career. I think recently we seen Jordan Adetunji with the Kalani record, because I follow him for a minute on TikTok, just watching him make joints. Olivia Rodrigo. I feel like Doja really blew up off of Twitter before TikTok. And so when I look at the number of successful acts, it's really not that. It's like it get a lot of niggas like a buzz, but it don't really birth nothing. I mean, if you want to say 4 bats, like, I guess.
The answer is no. No social media platform will ever be more important than a label of one simple principle. These social media platforms cannot cut records. Period. Niggas still need labels, and a lot of the artists need the label to get that record to even go up on TikTok. So we can't negate that. You can't have one without the other.
But TikTok is like the new record breaker, though. You know what I'm
But
saying?
if you don't have, but if you need the label to put the record together in the first place, what are you bringing?
No,
That's like
because you can be independent and get your record on TikTok.
With no work.
But you gotta understand.
That's like you got $1 million block with no work. What is the
That's
purpose of it being $1 million block?
Fat Nasty, you looking at it wrong. That's not what's going on. The record, they're not putting together the record until you get there. So TikTok, it's not. I'm not gonna say. I mean, it's like a what for what right now, because it can be an equalizer if you utilize like ads and all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Then you got to. But if you utilize ads, or if you got a big enough following, my nigga, you can go direct to and get clipped up. Them songs move, bro. That shit on there moves. Once that shit is in that ecosystem and they start running through the algorithm, nigga, you can get busy on TikTok. Hold on. And what's gonna happen is if the song get big enough, the label just gonna come find you, and because they gonna want in on what you getting. You feel what I'm saying?
But can we gauge like TikTok hits as a barometer? Like, can we use that where hip hop's going in the next 5 years? I don't think we can, because they come and go, and like it's hot now, but it's not a true measurement.
You're looking at it the wrong way, though, Gigi.
No,
Gigi.
I'm
TikTok
not.
hear me out.
Sustainable.
TikTok has brought you. Look at what I'm saying.
TikTok
has put older songs right back in play. That should show you. It's not just the new songs that like the kids find out about some old shit, and yeah, that shit starts moving. You get what I'm saying?
So let me ask
you a question.
It's a little unpredictable, though. A lot of that stuff is by chance because somebody clips up a funny video and the song is attached to it, and people use the song as a template. It's not like it's not like a new song comes out by a certain artist and it immediately just goes viral because it's this particular artist. It's more the content that's being created that goes viral, and the song is the byproduct, which is why a lot of these artists, they get found, they get discovered, they get signed, and they can't make another record. And they come and go.
KE, what's crazy too is most of those songs that do go up be from signed artists, bro. Like, I don't know if y'all familiar with Biba Doobie, but she's had this song that's been on every NBA highlight thing. It's like this little acoustic joint where she's just singing over her and the guitar, and they put like Derrick Rose like highlights and shit. And it's like, bro, she's been signed. Like these, like I said, we've only, for the amount of artists putting stuff out on TikTok, we've only seen a few successful careers actually sustain.
Well, I got a question for y'all, right? I don't know. It may be weird because TikTok seems like it's here to stay, but What happened when niggas do the TikTok? What they did to Vine,
Nah,
or
that
it
ain't
becomes
happening.
like a face.
That ain't gonna happen.
You think it's past? You think it's
Unless
past?
unless
It's way past
the whole
that.
ban, unless the whole ban thing happens, when they get it banned, but it ain't gonna
Nah,
die
but
out
you know,
though.
every certain year, especially.
Say it might get
we
done
talk
like
about hip-hop.
MySpace.
Yeah,
Because
like we
MySpace was like a discovery for music though at one point though, and that shit just went.
Niggas found Drake on MySpace. That's where
it's a
Drake
fact.
blew up.
And then we just go for shit so quick. It's like that's all like the way we consume shit. Period in the black culture is blink of an eye. Like
Don't even put
niggas
black
still.
on that.
No, I'm just saying.
Like
We
when
talking
you
about
do
hip
that,
hop.
you limit it, and like black people
No,
we
but
consume
we
music
talking about hip
differently.
hop. So I'm saying, like, when we talk about hip hop, we control it. Like, so we saying we not fucking with TikTok, then TikTok is obsolete. Same way how niggas saying now, oh, you wear purple jeans, you can't wear purple jeans no more. Like, we move off of shit so fast. I don't think TikTok could ever be more important than a label, in my opinion. Because the label showed years of sustainability.
That's why it
I
would
would
be
love to
more.
quickly
Hold up.
jump in real quick.
Oh, all right.
I love to quickly jump in.
Yeah, bro.
We don't have any.
Landslide,
I hope you agree with me.
There.
Landslide, got me up.
What's up? I'm there. What's popping?
Meet up, bro.
Landslide there?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay, cool. So I want to explain something verbally because maybe I'm not typing it efficiently. So TikTok is used as a marketing tool for music discovery. It's for people to discover new artists that they could consume their music. Trap's question was, is TikTok more powerful than a record label? We will first have to identify what both do to see where the power lies. If TikTok's main source of power is music discovery, what else does TikTok do aside from you discovering their music on TikTok? What else does TikTok do, like outside of that?
What else can you rephrase your question?
Yeah, what else does TikTok do other than introduce you to new music?
It allows you to reach consumers directly, brand, create a brand voice, market, promote, and build a fan base, collect data on that fan base, and have data points.
Right. So music. So pretty much you discovering music on TikTok. That's pretty much what you described.
Well, that's what a user would be, right? But for the artist, we're talking about how is it useful to the artist, right? In terms of a label, because a label is the artist.
No, that wasn't the question. Because the main question was,
is TikTok more powerful than a record label, right? So are we speaking from the perspective of a consumer? Or are we speaking from the perspective of a producer?
Let's say from the perspective of an artist. If I'm an artist, if I'm an artist that's using, if I'm signed to let's break it down like this. I am an artist. I'm looking at what TikTok does versus what a record label does. TikTok's main source of power is what?
Once again, it would be data.
No.
Data and communication.
No, it is not. So I'm gonna help y'all. TikTok's main power is music discovery. It's introducing people that are using it to music, to videos, in multiple capacities. It's an amazing promotional tool. A record label has to do like 1,000 things. A record label has to pitch you to DSPs for playlisting. They have to fund touring. They help you with merch. They can pitch you for opportunities to get your music heard in multiple mediums. They have to build records for you. They have to get A&R. They have to clear licenses. They have to find producers. They have to fund certain situations to not only market your music, but get it consumed and sustain it. They also manage your catalog. They have to do multiple things. On top of that, they have to also pitch your music to TikTok and run digital advertisements so that you are a priority in placement with TikTok. So a record label has to do like 1,000 things to try to break an artist. They utilize TikTok and own parts of TikTok to then break the artist. So if I'm looking at what both do, I don't see how TikTok can be more powerful than a record company when a record company is a part owner of TikTok and have to do 80,000 other things to then break that artist, sustain that artist, fund that artist, and actually build records. So the pipeline. So the pipeline. So let me just say this. Yes, if you're an independent artist, you can use TikTok to expand. That could make it easier than trying to a record company. Yes, that is correct. and that's amazing. But a priority artist on a record company has way more power behind it than an independent artist that you just find on music. Once you find that song on TikTok, they would have to make several more other records and actually make money. We have seen artists one or two songs of revival, and you don't hear from them again. Because they don't have a major infrastructure to continue to pump money into them, to put them on the Breakfast Club, to put them on radio, to put them on a tour, to build records, to create energy around them. That TikTok doesn't have. TikTok, find them cool, great, so be it. There's not a concentrated effort on TikTok to break individual artists. Like a market radio. I recommend you to break you.
So I see where, so I have a difference in mindset, right? You have a difference of mindset of what can a record label or TikTok do for you. I have a mindset of what can you do with TikTok versus what can you do with the record label. Now, when you're going to
what the hell in JFK?
When you're talking about a record label, before a record label is going to put any money behind you, before they're going to book you and get you on the road, before they're going to place you, what do they have to go off of? They have to go off of the data. They have to, the conversation you're about to have through your medium that's called music is with a group of people large enough that justifies the investment that they're putting into for your message to get to people and get supported by it so they can recoup their money back. So you can do that by yourself with TikTok, literally one-to-one. You can build an email list. You can have people go through a website. You could put pixels on there. You can literally build a whole infrastructure that a label is going to say that they can build for you, and they're going to promise you this tiny thing, but you can literally do it one-to-one on TikTok. So if people use TikTok, right, and they're depending on TikTok to facilitate a forum, I'll give you that. I'll agree. If you want somebody else to do the work for you, of course, go to a record label. But I'm talking from people who are empowered and understand what data is. If you understand what data is, you can do everything a record label does for yourself because you have the data from in the first place to do it, and you can get the data.
Sure.
Hey, Himberlin.
Sure. Chris, one question. Hold on 1 second, Chris. I got it. 1 second. So yes, you are correct. Let me ask you a question. Trap's question was, is TikTok more powerful than a record label? The artists right now, top charting, who came from TikTok?
Yeah. So once again, right?
No, I'm asking the question. I'm not right now.
Listen,
but you know data, so you should be able to.
I'm answering you. Asking your question. Can I answer the question?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't know who came from TikTok, right? But the music industry isn't centered around the top charting artists. It's not centered around the top one or two. The music industry is not centered on the top 1% of artists, right?
That's totally incorrect.
It quite literally is.
It's totally incorrect. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It's not incorrect. It's not incorrect because we know that there are plenty of other artists that you wouldn't consider the top 1% who we know make a successful living in the music industry. So if you want to center power and success on the top 1%, go ahead, be my guest. You can do that, but we're ignoring a whole other group of people that make a living, and to plenty others would be considered successful, and they're using means outside of a record label to do it.
But bro, this is what I'm saying. So let me just break this down. In terms of the independent artists, I am a big advocate for independent artists. You don't know, you may not know me. People here know, like, that's my thing. We do a lot for independent artists aren't being ignored. We're talking about
not a personal attack, Himberlin.
No, I totally understand. I'm telling you that because I understand what you're saying in terms of how we want things to be and how things may be in the future. Trap's question was, is TikTok more powerful than a record label? So to answer the question of saying TikTok is more powerful, then the case study would be, hey, these top charting artists came from TikTok. TikTok helped break these 4 to 5 artists. They're at the top of the charts. If that hasn't happened yet, if the majority of the people that are making most of the money aren't from record labels, then you would say yes. But if the majority of them are from record labels, then the answer would be no. Because what you can do with TikTok, it still hasn't happened yet. Like, for example, Money Long, I would use Money Long as an example because a record that I also helped her promote and build was built off of TikTok. Right after she gets popping off TikTok and it goes viral, the whole Hours and Hours challenge, she signs the Def Jam. Now, you would say, if she broke Hours and Hours off of TikTok, why didn't she just stay independent? Well, because she needs money for promotion and radio and touring and other things that TikTok won't give you, because TikTok is a discovery tool. She has all the data, and they use that data from TikTok to then pitch themselves and get signed to Def Jam. So if TikTok was more powerful, they wouldn't be signing those deals after they get discovered. You mentioned Tommy Richmond. I told you Tommy Richmond was signed years ago. He signed to Brent's team and Ty Bazin and Culture and all of them. If Dean was here, he would tell you that. They utilized TikTok to get him popular. They took digital advertising dollars and put it into TikTok so that people felt like they were discovering somebody that wasn't signed. He's been signed for 5 years. So I'm not saying TikTok isn't powerful. I'm not saying independent artists can't utilize it. I'm answering Chap's question. His question was, is TikTok more powerful than a record label? The answer would be no, because TikTok's only source, and it's a powerful source, is music discovery. But just discovering the music doesn't sustain an artist. It doesn't build super fans.
I have
Just
a question
discovering
for
a
you,
song from
Emblem.
somebody makes you aware of them. It doesn't make them a household name.
Once again, you keep talking about an experience as a fan, and you keep talking about what other people can do for somebody else. I'm talking how you utilize it. So hold on, just let me ask this. Let me ask this direct question. Himbaland, what's more powerful, an atomic bomb or a knife?
What do you took me on?
Just hold on, Himbaland. Just allow me to have this conversation. What's
If
more
I had to deal
powerful?
with a knife or an atomic bomb, I would choose a knife. I would deal with a knife before an atomic bomb.
Why would you choose that, sir?
Because the survival rate goes down significantly. An atomic bomb can kill millions of people within seconds.
Okay, let's say agree.
Let me finish. Let me finish answering your question. If you stab me with a knife, depending on where you stab me, there is a chance I could survive. I'm probably not going to survive an atomic bomb.
Okay, so an atomic bomb would be more powerful, correct?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, now do you know which one do you know how to use better? Which one is more accessible, or can you be used better, an atomic bomb or a knife?
Well, both.
Which one is more, Timberland?
For me, both. But you're asking
So
the
you
average
can
consumer?
use you can use an atomic bomb
Wait,
just as
this
well as you
nigga
can
say
use
he
a
the
knife.
president. Whoa.
Are you asking me where are we going?
I'm asking you directly. Which one can you use? Which one is easier to use?
You know, he's trying to say because
what is the point?
Let them talk it out.
What is the point? So
You
what are you equating to the bomb?
You asked me multiple questions and I answered. I would hope you would give me a genuine response.
Yeah, go ahead. Let them go.
I said for me, both. If you're talking about the average person, I would assume a knife.
Okay, so a knife. So we'll go for the average person. So you're saying assuming a knife would be easier for a person to use, right? Than an atomic bomb. But you also admitted that an atomic bomb is more powerful than a knife, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so that means what is more powerful doesn't necessarily depend on who's using it, right? So because somebody chooses to use Def Jam or a record label and they don't know how to use the other one for themselves, right? Doesn't necessarily mean the one that they went and used is more powerful. That's my point. You keep speaking from people who lack the ability to harness a power in another source. That doesn't necessarily speak to if it's actually more powerful or not. And that's the conversation I was having.
Hold on, y'all. One of y'all. Let me answer him. Hold on, y'all. 1 second.
Niggas just want to sound smart.
Yeah, I know. It's cool. Let me talk to him.
It does sound pretty wise.
So in this case scenario, to the bomb and knife scenario, you would have to identify the goal and the objective of using both. We can't just use these two like arbitrary things and not equate it to anything. So in this case scenario, you would have to ask, what are we using the atomic bomb for, and what are we using the knife for? If it's about taking out the enemy of a different country, then there's different tactics that military uses to do that, right? Some is hand-to-hand combat, and some is taking out an entire city, depending on the goal.
So now, depending on the goal,
So those two things have two different goals. A knife, in most cases scenarios, is taking out one specific individual person, or cooking, or cutting up things, or making things more efficient. And atomic bombs really only goal is to take out massive amount of people. So TikTok is a tool. In your case scenario, TikTok will be a knife. A knife and atomic bomb are equivalent to power. Atomic bomb is going to always be more powerful than a knife. So even in your own example, that's still a false equivalency. Trap asked, what is more powerful, TikTok or a record label? So in your case scenario,
if record label is the atomic bomb and TikTok is a knife, then I'm still right.
Yeah, so thank you for saying that. Hold on, thank you for saying that. Hold on,
Fat-Ass, I got you.
Smack, stop my time. Smack, stop my time.
So I appreciate you saying that, right? Because the first thing is you were able to get into the nuances of the objective, right? And based off of the objective, the power dynamics change, right? It's this, like, y'all being really anti-intellectual. I'm having a conversation with a man.
This is far from intellectual. Can we cut the shit? Can I please just ask a simple question? Hey, Trap. Let me ask a simple question. Trap, I gotta ask a simple question, bro. Because hold on. Let me just ask this question.
Let Chris go.
The original question was is TikTok or the label? Bro, we've been listening for a minute, bro. We don't want to hear that shit, Sharif. Yeah, so the simple question was, is TikTok or the label more powerful, right? And you could say TikTok has music discovery and outreach, okay, which is the same as Google Ads, which is the same as Meta Ads. The only difference is on TikTok, you get a couple free options. You could post for free, right? Cool. But the TikTok doesn't provide funding. It does not provide marketing. It does not provide promotion, distribution, or like sample clearance and shit, or management. Like, are we being TikTok is a place where you can post, but you still need a strategy. They don't provide that for you. Like, this is just beyond it. Like, can we just cut the shit, man? Like, can we have a real conversation?
Well, thank you. So hold on. Because you don't know how to utilize it. Because you don't know. Hold on.
Bro,
I've read. Hold on, Chris. Because you don't know how to utilize it and maximize its capability does not mean it's less powerful. That just means you have an issue with understanding its capabilities.
No. Let me cook him real quick.
It's the same way.
Let me cook real quick.
It's the same way that somebody can have lack of knowledge in how to use an atomic bomb, and so they're in their heads the knife is more powerful, but we both know as a weapon an atomic bomb is more powerful than a knife. It doesn't matter how much you know if you know how to use it.
But it's quick question, simple question, right? With YouTube ads, right? When you look at YouTube ads, right? And like I could run some ads. I could put in money. Let's say I put in $1,000. I get back like 20,000 to 30,000 views based in America, right? And you would say, oh well, you didn't maximize it. Cool, right? Cool. We didn't maximize it. You know what the difference is between me doing that and a label? Is if a label gives me the funding for the fucking marketing, bro, you do understand they're gonna provide more than what the person initially would have had. Like, this is like we have to jump over logic to get to like hypothetical bullshit. It's like, come on, gang. Like, you didn't understand the full potential of TikTok. Nigga, Tommy Richmond did, because he came out with a #1 hit and he was on a label. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
I know you're pro label, brother. I understand, all right? I understand that you're pro label, but every Fortune 500 company in 2025 is built on fucking data. They're buying it and selling it like crazy. Hold on, Georgina.
I get what you mean about data collection.
Okay, stop right there.
Answer Himbaland's question when he asked you about who was making it out of TikTok. If you're using data as a source, data you can't measure what you can't quantify. Like, you need to literally.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that right now because I'm making a point, and right now it's about which one is more powerful. Which one's more powerful? That's like asking me how's an atomic bomb made right now. Fuck how it's made. You know it's more powerful than a fucking knife. You're being mad obtuse.
So that's the record label versus the
TikTok. No, that's not the record label. The atomic bomb is TikTok.
101.
Why you think all these record labels? Why you think so? Then why do record labels try to buy out all this?
You are about to witness the power of street knowledge.
I got a good hypothetical for you, Landslide, because you produce, you was battling earlier. I heard you, right? I heard you. I witnessed that, right? So say your shit go viral right now on TikTok. You get 100 million followers. Are you able to sustain that off of TikTok alone?
Yes, I can.
Get the fuck out of here, nigga. Fucking
I mean, just
lying.
ask. Why don't you ask me
How
how
would you do
instead of
that? How
just
would
to
you
see?
do that? How would you
The
do
first
that?
thing I would do is I would take the data from the hit that I got, find the regions of where it went popping, listen to the music that's from there, create content that specifically speaks to those people, present it in a product format, create it also a subscription model, and market to those people over and retarget to them over and over again and put them in a funnel where they can continue to circulate in their dollars into what I got going on by providing them the value that they're already accustomed listening to that they like from me in the first place for me to go viral. It's a
So
cycle.
would you use like tools like
He just called Whiskey and
Spotify?
Grange.
Would you use
I
like
don't think they figured that out over there.
would you use tools
He
like
ain't talking
Spotify
shit
to
anyway.
identify where your super fans are?
You can use Spotify, you can use Superphone. There's a bunch of things that you can use. You can use Facebook
Yeah, I
Pixels.
agree.
Okay.
So my
Okay.
question then would
But
be,
he
what if
specifically asked
you're
me about TikTok.
for sure, I know. I'm just saying, like, what if you're using tools that like the labels own?
What do you mean? What if I'm using tools that the labels on? I'm not on a label.
Well, like, what if you're
I'm not
using
using a label.
tools or platforms that labels have ownership
The
in?
reason why they own it is because they want access to the same data that everybody else has access to, but it's either too lazy or uneducated to actually get to.
No, but what if
Like,
you're
that's just
using
simple.
something that they have ownership in and you're using it?
Okay, that means we're both using a powerful tool. I don't understand what the issue
But
is.
they
But it's their tool, nigga.
Nigga, it wasn't always their tool. We know that. They bought into
But
it. We
Nigga,
know that. So
if
y'all, hold
it's
on,
not
hold on. The
always
nigga
your
asked
car,
me,
but you bought it. Like, nigga, it's
the
your car.
nigga
What the
asked me
fuck?
about, see, now y'all changing, y'all take the goalposts off your back and do a hamstring stretch, nigga. The nigga asked me about TikTok being more powerful than a record label.
Nigga, take off
Right.
your
Fuck,
fake
get me
professor
out of here.
badge. Nigga, you sound crazy.
Get out of
the
here.
original
So
question. That was the original question.
yeah, thank you, Himberlin. God damn. Man, get the fuck out of here, nigga.
So
Little Frankenstein.
this is my only thing. It's my only thing. So, like I said before, I'm hearing how you're talking, and so I get that you're the advocate for independence. I think a lot of us are in the room. So nobody's saying that record labels are powerful because we want them to be, or we're saying that independent artists can't have leverage and make money. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that we are big fans of independent artists making more money, creating different revenue streams, not needing the system. Like, we all are in alignment with that. What we're saying is, the question was, is TikTok more powerful than the record label? The answer is no. Yes. From an idealistic perspective, hold
I
up,
hear
let me
you.
finish. From an idealistic perspective, yes, artists are and will continue to find ways of being direct to consumer and finding ways to fund their situations and be successful without record labels. Yes, that will happen over a period of time. Right now, as of today, the power and the money and the funding and infrastructure of a record label is way more powerful than TikTok, because TikTok in itself is one channel that record labels own and use to distribute artists and promote artists that they have already. And that's being backed by digital ads that record labels have the money for, that TikTok does not have the money for and they're not interested in. TikTok itself can't even keep, may not keep ownership in the United States of America. So all we're saying is that's what the current thing is. We're not trying to be an advocate for record labels and saying artists should just like lay down and sign whatever. That's not what we're saying.
It's crazy. It's crazy that y'all saying something.
We're just answering Trap's direct
And
question of who's
I
powerful
answered
right now.
his direct question, but because you disagree with it, you say I'm not answering it. And it's crazy that record labels gotta go through the same shit you got access to, but you saying they more powerful. They gotta go through TikTok just like the hold on. They gotta go through TikTok. Hold on. They gotta go through TikTok and the same digital marketing agencies that you have that are coupled at and social media brands and whatnot, like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever you want to say. It's just a digital marketing agency, and they're collecting data, they're feeding products. That's all it is. They gotta go through that just like you do. But because they have because they can employ people that understand it, who fully
that makes them more powerful.
Yes, no, hold on.
Because they have an army. You're a one-person versus an army.
Hold on.
That's
It
why
only
they're more powerful.
hold on.
Have
You're
50 data
hold on, fact.
specialists in the
Fact.
fucking in one cubicle, nigga.
Fact.
That's
Fact.
why it's more powerful than
Fact.
one
I got an
person
AI. I got
trying
an
to do
AI
it.
right now. I can make an hold on, fact. I can make
So
an
you think
AI.
that AIs is better
Hold
than
on.
their AIs?
Yes, hold on.
That's what you're trying to
Hold
say
on,
to me.
fact.
Your
Hold on,
AIs is
fact.
better than a company
Fact. Let
with
me finish
billions of
my
dollars
explanation.
AIs.
I'm giving you some game right now.
can't
Niggas on the
finish
game
it.
to get it. Right now, I can go get information, documents, books collected from the most brilliant minds in the last 30 to 50 years of any subject I want, put it into an AI and literally have that motherfucker on my team. So it's
Their
don't
AIs,
misconstrue. Hold on, sir.
they
Don't
have
misconstrue,
50 people
sir,
with
sir,
50
sir. Fact.
AIs that's
Hold up,
50
Fat. I want
times.
Yeah, you gotta let him talk.
Talent.
You gotta let him talk,
I
GX.
want to hear what he's saying. Go ahead. Go
Shit
ahead.
is
Go ahead.
So
bro.
I think sometimes we misconstrue a lack of understanding and associate that to power. Just because people don't understand it, that's not a descriptor of how powerful something is. Something could be.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
So real quickly, the best way I think you can make this case study is to give me a case study of a top charting artist right now that has used that business model to be in that 1%. If you can't give me the name of somebody that's utilized that, then that wouldn't prove your point. We would need to see the result of your point. Because I can give you the results of the other point. The top artists that are charting right now all come from the reputable system solely. So you have to give somebody that's from TikTok and working with them. If you cannot give me that, then there's no way of proving your case.
Sir, they didn't have to drop the atomic bomb to know that it was more powerful than a grenade.
You gotta give me a name.
Sir,
Give me a name.
sir,
You gave me Tommy Richmond earlier from the time. So give me a name.
I gave you Tommy Richmond as an example of the pipeline, not as an
Little
example of
Nas
the
X.
artist.
Little Nas X. That's a name for you. Little Nas X. Old Town Road blew up off of TikTok. It took off on TikTok, and then the labels came and found him.
But then
So
where
that
is
was-
he at now?
But he signed to a label. He did not. So
Yeah,
the thing
yeah,
is,
but he wasn't signed to the label first, though.
But if you but Trap, if TikTok were powerful than a record label, then why would he even sign? He would just stay on TikTok, right? He wouldn't sign to a label.
Because he doesn't have the knowledge. Like, this is crazy. Because he doesn't have the knowledge.
He should have hired you or somebody like you, but he didn't. He signed to a label, and he's still with a label today.
He doesn't have the.
That
He
he
doesn't.
doesn't have that knowledge. You can't
Because
make
if
that
he had,
assumption.
because why would you? There's only two reasons why you would give up a piece of what you got going on. It's
There's
either
only
because
so
hold
much
on.
one person can
It's
handle.
only because of lack of knowledge or lack of resources. But once again, those two things do not indicate in juxtaposition to like a label. That's what I'm
Let me
talking
ask you
about.
one question. Let me ask you one question.
No, hold up, y'all. One mic,
Hold on.
real quick.
Let me ask you one question just to pick
Hold
your
on,
brain.
Fat, real quick, bro.
Hold on, I got you, GX. Let X go.
Look, Landslide, we know that you be understanding stuff. You made valid points, but the one part that you are omitting in order to have your point in your argument is that that's the whole thing of the music industry. It's a business out of comfort, not of disruption. They don't like disruption. It's not a part of the business model. You've said this. You're just not saying it in a way where people are taking it in, bro. Why would I go try to build my own football league when there's a league that already has funding, money, and opportunity for me to get where I'm trying to go? Any time period of my lifetime. So if artists go viral on TikTok, of course he's going to sign to a major. Because the major's going to expedite all the things he would have to learn to do that. And most people who are well learned doing it are not talented enough to do both. So what you're saying is facts, but you're not being realistic about the amount of work it would take for someone to master that and get on. Remember, that industry is not based off of logic, it's based off of skill. If it was based off of logic, people would go to MIT to go become musicians, and a lot of them don't. So that's not the point. The point is that you're right. People go viral off TikTok, but they still want to get signed because a label has a suite of things that makes your life easier. And people like easy, especially in America. It's okay. You made a valid point. But
that's
the
not
bigger
the
point
question.
is
I
that
agree
the
with you there.
industry is there for a reason. To expedite all that shit.
I haven't disagreed with anything that you said. I haven't pushed back on anything that you said, but I'm answering a
I know
question.
that was the first time we talked.
Yeah, but that wasn't even the question that he was answering, just because he said that the question was, is TikTok more popular than a record label? It wasn't about TikTok not being useful. It wasn't about people using the pipeline. The question was, is TikTok more powerful than a record label as of today? And that answer is no. There's no way of saying yes to that question. There's just no way.
What I'm saying is, if you're in digital marketing, right, get into digital marketing. I'm not saying that you're not. You realize at some point when you have enough information about what all these companies are doing, you understand that goddamn, the tool is more powerful than the company or the brand that bases itself off of that tool.
But you need the money on. You need the money on.
Hold on. I'm not finished. Right now, we have a bunch of AI companies that are being evaluated at crazy numbers, right? And all these AI companies are using ChatGPT to formulate their AI chatbots and sell them to solve specific purposes. Now, are you going to sit there and tell me that the company is more powerful than the tool that it's based off of? That's asinine. Right, so I'm looking at it as that's not a different situation. That's not a different situation if the hold on. That's not a different situation if the labels are buying it. Hold on. That's the reason why that's not a different situation is because I'm gonna tell you. Okay, so then let me explain my reasoning. Let me explain my reasoning. Then let me explain my reasoning so you can accurately defend it.
Let Fat Nancy get in. Let Fat Nancy get in. He been waiting though. Go ahead.
Nigga, you just made a fucking false point, bro. You sounded dumb as shit. In the situation you just gave, in the situation, my fault, in the situation you just gave, ChatGPT proceeded the other companies. In this example, the record label proceeded TikTok. So it is a difference. In the order in which it comes matters, bro. What are we talking about here?
Yeah. So once again, right? There's a reason why all of these labels had to buy into the tool. The same way all these companies had to buy into the tool because the tool is more powerful than the companies. And we know that because they're starting to overlay their structure and how they operate based off of what's going on with the tool. I don't understand. Like, that's just simple math. If the tool can sit there and restructure how you run your business, the tool got more influence on you than you do on it. And the whole point of them buying into it is so they can flip the game, and they still haven't figured it out because niggas are still using it on their own and got the same access that they do.
So Landslide, if that's the case, then why has no other artist for some reason has figured that out in the world?
Brother, because it's new, brother. And to say no other artist, I don't know, brother, I don't know. Yeah, in terms of like, if we're talking over 100, 200 year period, then yes, it's fairly new. Like a lot of times we try to compress time into 2-3 years, thinking that's a long time. Like decades is how I think. So like 50, 60 years from the reason why the companies that the record labels are positioning themselves the way they are is because they're looking out for 50 to 100 years and they're saying, yo, these niggas got access to the same shit we got. We understand how powerful it is because we actually see the data, the information, have created certain products around it, and we see how much easier it is to do that now versus when we had to do it in the 90s and the 80s. And so what they're doing is they're buying it all up before you and me realize that we got access to the same shit they got.
Right. So let me say this. So I'll give you a case study, right? I don't want to say the person's name. So there was a person who was a hip hop artist that had a song that went viral on TikTok. This is like maybe summer 2021. The person goes viral. Labels have a big war. One of the big labels wraps him up. They put out a remix to the same song that went viral on TikTok. Their remix flops. They put out another original record 2 months after that. That song also flops. They have another song that comes out that fall, and they have a big R&B feature on it. That song does moderate well, but it's not as much as the song that went viral on like TikTok. And they couldn't figure out how come we can't reproduce the same energy. This person did it on their own. The song went viral, and for some reason, the same energy just can't get it to grow. They put money behind it, end up dropping the artist like a year later, like around maybe like next summer, 2022. The artist then becomes independent, puts out other songs, and he can't get his other songs to work. This person has put out a song since 2022, right? So that could be looked at as different ways, right? One, he caught a lick off the first song because he had put out like 10 songs before. And for some reason, this one song just caught on. Like people, it was an earworm, it was a hook, it was a vibe. For some reason, people connected to that song and how they heard it. But with all the data, with all the money, they couldn't reproduce the same result. He can do it on a label, and then he can do it on his own after the label. Why do you think that could have happened?
Because a hit is called a highlight, and highlights happen very few and far in between. If you compare all the hits that we've heard to all the music that's put out, it's a very small percentage of a chance that you're going to get a hit from the start. So to assume that because you have one hit, you're automatically, or it's just going to be a thing for you to do others, is also just like asinine. And that's like seeing a miracle and expecting to see one the next day and the next day after that. We got to put things in context, right?
No, that's the perfect answer. So what you're right.
I mean, I appreciate you saying that, right? But just let me finish this.
Sure, go ahead.
For somebody to have it hit and they themselves assume, or a record label assume, that they're gonna have another one is already bad business. The goal should be a consistent conversation with the fan base that has spent money at multiple touch points with the artist. That's what success is. That's what Master P figured. All the niggas that went independent, that's what they figured out. I don't necessarily need to hit. I just need to have the conversation. Tyler Perry talks about this all the time. I don't give a fuck about a Grammy. I don't give a fuck about any of this other shit. I have a core audience. I have a conversation with the core audience, and that's how I figure out what content to give them, and they support and buy my shit, and I get a consistent generative income that I can then reinvest in my business to scale.
Right, correct. That's not the career. What I'm getting at is the reason why that song worked on TikTok at that moment is because TikTok is a very volatile marketing tool, right? It's unpredictable. It's not sustainable. It's like, I'm gonna throw it in here and let's just see what happens. I can put digital ad spin behind it. I can do the same content pieces for all the strategies. I can use funnels, but there's no surefire way of that happening, right? So if I'm gonna gamble with starting my career off TikTok and trying to sustain that and make it go further, versus doing with a record label, they're gonna use multiple pipelines and multiple resources, press and podcasting and touring and digital ads, and there's a variety of things they're going to use, our marketing mix, then that's already a more powerful tool, because the record label is going to try at least 20 different ways of getting this popping. TikTok has one surefire way. So when we talk about what's more powerful, I'm not dismissing the powerful tool of TikTok as its own pipeline. What I'm saying is it's just one pipeline. Once pipeline again, is not more powerful than the multiple strategies that a record label has to have to sustain an artist, because when they tried to feed off the energy of that TikTok tool, when they tried it, and your point, with data and with the fan base and with trends, they did all of it, couldn't reproduce it because it was solely built off of TikTok. It wasn't sustainable.
Yeah.
It was a moment. It went viral. He got some looks, but he didn't have enough, and that's the issue that we're having with TikTok. TikTok can't identify artists. They can identify moments. They can identify highlights, but because somebody has a big song doesn't mean they're a star. It doesn't mean people want to hear more songs from them. It doesn't mean you want to see them on tour. It doesn't mean you want to buy their fucking t-shirt. It's only a tool to say, hey, this person has music. They're not identifying who's going to be a star or not. So all the data that you're talking about, all the funneling, like you just said, all that shit doesn't mean nothing if the person ain't a star. They need artist development. They need actual records. They need producers. They need press. They need to get on podcasts. They need visibility. They need to be seen in multiple markets. TikTok can't do that. Record labels are intended to do that. That's why record labels are a more powerful tool than TikTok. That's all we're saying.
So once again, everything that you just said, you can curate through TikTok. You can curate, hold on. You can curate artist development through TikTok. You can literally show your performances and get feedback on how you're doing and continuously grow yourself as an artist on TikTok. You can reach out directly to motherfuckers who have press, journalists, artists, magazines, playlist curators, right through TikTok. It's a one-to-one connection of millions and millions of people. So I know the record label wants you to think that you got to go through a record label because they have access to all this shit, but you I don't have a specific case study for you, but what I have is an understanding of how it's utilized. And
it's not a case study, then you can't prove it.
Let that person get out. What you want to say, bro? Go ahead.
Go ahead, Will.
Man, y'all both making good points, man. I think the trickery in the question that Trap asks is using the word power. And in this conversation, y'all haven't quantified what power means. Are we talking about data? Are we talking about the things that the label provides? I think that's y'all's disconnect. And I like the way y'all building, but if y'all can find a where you guys can agree upon the pieces of power that the aspects of power that crosses both sides, I think that the conversation can move. But y'all both making good points. It's just the fact that y'all haven't quantified what the power is.
Well, but I have though, because when I broke down the multiple ways that a record label sustains an artist, that's the power that I'm talking about. I talked about various touch points that you have to have a career as an artist. That's the power. The power is being able to use multiple things, a marketing mix, to sustain, grow, develop, distribute, and promote an artist. TikTok does one thing. If this tool does one thing, and this other tool does a million other things, and you're asking me who's more powerful, we can talk about how you use it. We can talk about the efficiency of it. But if one tool does more things, that's the more powerful tool. And on top of that, the other tool owns a part of the other tool.
Yeah,
So even in that, it's still like an asinine thing. So we've identified what that power is. He's talking about the power of TikTok. I'm talking about the power of a record company that's utilizing TikTok. It's two entirely different conversations. When TikTok,
So if the thing you're saying is more,
if TikTok goes away next week because they can't sell to the whole government China shit, record labels will still be in existence. Like TikTok he just said that TikTok hasn't been around for that long. It's a new tool. Record labels have been around forever. No matter what kind of press, from print, from newspaper to blogs to DSPs to CDs, wherever it is, record labels have had the power in all those different platforms. So I don't even know what we're talking about.
Look,
yeah.
let me
So
say
what's
this. Hold on, Lance.
Go ahead.
Like the analogy you used with the bomb and the knife, like I get what he was trying to do. You know what I'm saying? I do. Like TikTok is like the knife, like but it's one thing. Like they keep telling you that bomb will blow up. It's gonna fuck the whole country up. Like that shit it's over. Everything done. A label can spread your paws, get you everywhere if they want to. TikTok has that ability, but you know what you have to pay into TikTok for them even to blast you outside of like your radius. Like this shit can move around, but you gotta pay into that. What a label can do in one shot, like they have a button, and that means everybody in the building go get this nigga moving. You know what I'm saying? You got all hands on deck. You feel
I'm
me?
asking you a question, John. What is the highest? I'm sorry, I'm gonna rephrase this. What is the way that most people consume music?
Shit, Spotify for the streaming, right?
Streaming, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube,
DSPs.
right? All those platforms. That's the most, right?
Yeah.
When they're meeting with artists, you think TikTok's bringing them artists, or you think the record label is?
I mean,
this is so crazy. This is such a wild.
I'm asking you a question. When you have these platforms, right? Again, we're talking about the way that people consume music the most is through streaming platforms. I'm asking a question. How are these streaming platforms interacting, featuring, meeting these artists to promote them? Is it through TikTok or through record labels? What would the guess be?
Oh no, it's more through the labels getting sent up there. Yeah, the labels are sending them up there.
And why would that be?
To get them promotion and placement, like ingratiate them with you want to have a relationship with the artists and the DSPs. You want to get the shit on. You want to get that prime real estate up there. You know
At Universal Music Group, there's about 40 different employees that are hired solely to pitch for streaming and playlisting. There's a radio department. There's a marketing department. There's a PR department. There's whole ass departments. There's armies of people dedicated to pushing and promoting their artists. Do we know how many people work at TikTok?
And with all those people they still had to go through TikTok. With all of that shit you talk, hold on. With all of that shit that hold on, Himbaland. You just explained. We just explained. With all of those fucking resources that they had, with all of those ways to push the button, for some reason they still figured out that they had to go through TikTok to the point where they would even buy into it. What are we talking about?
Trap. Didn't
with
you do
all
a room?
that power you telling me that they had to go to TikTok?
Hold on. Let's talk about
spend
power.
money.
Hold up. I'm
and absorb another business and put that on their balance sheet.
Hold up,
possibly fuck up
landslide. Hold up, landslide. Since you mentioned that, since you mentioned that, Trap. Do I recall? Wasn't there one label that pulled out from TikTok? Do we remember who that was that pulled out from TikTok?
Universal.
And said, you can't license our music no more.
Universal.
Right? Oh yeah, Universal Music Group. So they said, so since you don't want to play ball with us, since you don't do what we agreed upon, we're taking our music off of it. So you're talking about having to go through a channel. Universal said, fuck that channel last year. And guess what happened? TikTok came calling back to them. What power are you talking about, brother?
So once again, you're being dishonest, right?
No,
if you want to sit there and say that a business relationship changed, fair enough. But we're not going to talk. So we're not going to acknowledge that Universal still had to go through TikTok.
I can post the article where Universal left them. I can post the article.
Did they have to go through TikTok for them to be in a position where they were pulling out? Yes or no? Yes or no, Himbalin?
Wait, no.
Okay, so they didn't go through TikTok. That's what they're saying.
No,
so how did they get to the position where they had to pull out?
You said had to, because if they had to, they wouldn't have pulled out.
Yeah. No. At the point where they did, they had to, then something changed and they decided to pull out. But if you want me to acknowledge the fact that they pulled out, acknowledge the fact that they bought in.
No, if I have to do something, that means there's no other option. They had an option to.
Yeah, but we're talking about two different time periods, brother.
They had
talking about two different time periods. Things can change between the two.
Correct. They had an option
right.
to opt
So
in
things
and opt
change.
out.
So things change.
No, things change, and the bigger person says we're opting out until you play by our rules. And then guess what? The other company played by their rules. That's in the article, bro. You can't change what happened. It's written. It's there. It's public knowledge.
If you want me to acknowledge that point, acknowledge the fact that they still had to go to TikTok. Else they wouldn't have done it in the first place.
No,
they wouldn't have done it in the first place, brother.
Bro,
they wouldn't have done it in the first place.
So you're saying have to versus utilizing the tool. If I say to you, hey, listen, if I'm
utilizing a tool now.
Yeah, they're utilizing.
So they acknowledge the utility of the tool, correct?
Of course, they use it as a tool.
Okay, so then when I acknowledge the utility, when I acknowledge the utility of the tool, right? The same tool that they acknowledging is worth them fucking buying into. It's the same tool I'm acknowledging is saying you could do this without going through them.
No,
so I'm confused at what the pushback
is. So we're playing semantics.
No, I'm just getting direct to it.
Let me finish. You said that they have to use it. What I'm saying is, if they had to use it, and you're saying that they have to use them as their primary source, why did Universal pull out when TikTok didn't agree to pay them the rate that they wanted?
Obviously, because things changed. Obviously.
But if they had to do it, they would have been. So
it's the same way in one situation. It's the same way we can be in a situation where you have to go to a 9 to 5. You have to go to a 9 to 5. Go ahead.
In your logic, Universal would have been to the will of TikTok. In your logic.
Brother, this is what I'm saying.
They need them.
A nigga could have to go to work for a 9 to 5 for 10 years. And then over that 10 years, things change where he no longer needs to go to his 9 to 5. So I'm not disagreeing with you. Things change.
More powerful than the person then.
That's the case. Things change, and obviously they switched up. But what I'm saying is at first they acknowledged that the shit was powerful enough for them to get in bed with them. What are we talking about? And I'm acknowledging the same power opportunity they saw is the same shit I see. So I'm just confused at what the conversation.
That's the incorrect.
It's not an incorrect statement because they did it.
It is. You just use an equivalent of an employee in a company. Right?
And you've been using an equivalent. You've been an equivalent of niggas that having lack of knowledge. You've been doing that this whole time.
It's not a lack of knowledge. It's not a lack of knowledge, bro. What we have to understand is not about this game. And Ish said this earlier. This game isn't about who knows more than who. This infrastructure that we're talking about in terms of the music label, record label system, wasn't built on the power of knowledge for an artist. It was for exploitation.
Which is literally the lack of knowledge. What are we talking about?
You can be as knowledgeable as you want.
Brother, niggas get exploited because of a lack of knowledge.
Let me finish what I'm saying, brother. You're saying that people aren't bypassing certain things because of knowledge, because they had the lack of understanding of something. That's not always the case in these case scenarios.
I agree. It's a generalization. It's not always.
It's a choice.
It's not always, but it's a generalization, brother. It's not always. It's not every single
place. We shouldn't use because that's not.
I think we should use it because over the last 20 to 30 years, all I heard was people like yourself talk about how artists didn't know anything and was getting jerked, and they need to study and they need to do more research and they need to have a better understanding. They need to get more knowledge before they get into these situations. Now I'm talking about literal data, literal knowledge, and now all of a sudden it's like I'm fucking talking a different language.
I'm not saying that. What I've always said.
So then we got to acknowledge that a lack of knowledge is the reason why most powerful things don't get taken advantage of.
This is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm big on ownership. I'm big on leverage. I'm big on partnerships that make sense in the industry, right? Each person has to decide what they want to do for themselves. There are artists that are really intelligent and very smart and are using whatever they can to get money from this system and diversify it into other things that are outside of the music industry so that they can make money. I know what this game is. I know what this is about. I'm going to take this check. I'm going to do this deal. And I'm going to invest this part here. I'm going to get my own label. I'm going to get into publishing, get into sync. It's not like they're doing record deals because they don't know any better. It's because they know what the game is and what they want from it. You're the one that's saying that they're doing deals because they don't have a lack of knowledge. Not me. I'm not saying
everybody, brother.
I'm not saying that. People are making choices for themselves, and some are bad choices, some are good choices. But that's not even the question that we're talking about. We've gotten so far away from the question because if the conversation you want to have is how artists can be successful without record labels, then I can talk about it all day. We probably would agree on a lot of points. That wasn't the question that he asked.
And I've been making a case.
You're making a case for something.
I'm providing evidence. I'm providing evidence for what's going on.
Evidence would be a name of an artist that has done it, and you haven't done that in the past hour.
No, it's not. Evidence also counts as concepts, as context systems, and points.
Concepts are practical.
And brother, because there's one. Go ahead.
I'm gonna help y'all move the conversation forward. Listen, both some good points being made. Where Himbaland's point, and I'm non-partial to either side, but where Himbaland's point has proof where you are not delivering at is the best example you could have used, Landslide, was when Jay-Z first went into streaming before everyone, and he had Samsung buy 1 million copies, and they kind of null and voided it because they wanted to put their own spin and their own metrics on it to make it more official so it can be indoctrinated into the system that they already have. So that was a situation where the things you're talking about, data, proof points, how people receive these things, a new way of invoking people to buy things was presented to them, and they rejected it and eventually absorbed it. And is the new standard for how people even measure music with streams. So that was your bigger point to use, and it would have been your best point to use for TikTok. But the difference is that you don't have those proper references, so you're being avoiding. But here's the bigger thing that you said that's true, right? Until an artist comes out and you can use them as a case in point to.
If you're watching the YouTube live right now, please like the video.
Is something that can be done.
Appreciate it, greatly appreciate it, and subscribe.
But someone has to go and do it. So I think the best way to move it forward and leave it open-ended is it can one day happen, but as of right now, it has not happened. And so because
that wasn't the question,
I know that wasn't the question. You want to be matter of fact and be right. And when people like that try to be right, I laugh at you because it's like, if you were so right, go be right for yourself. And that's the funny part about arguing on the internet. Everyone's so smart at stuff other than what they could do for themselves and make it applicable. So that's the best way to be smart for yourself. So like, for the sake of the argument and the question, y'all both made great points. All I'm saying is the way it's going to kind of be a cliffhanger is because technically TikTok has never taken over that industry fully with an example that you could pull from. So because of that, it's still pending. Streaming did get taken over. So that's a point that could have been used, but you didn't use it. So for that, you have to move the conversation forward. Other than that, you're just being technical to just feel better about your point.
Yeah, so I love how niggas try to tell me what I'm trying to feel better about. I'm having a conversation. I'm having a conversation with somebody who's knowledgeable in this industry, and we're just bringing our points out. There's no offense taken. I'm not taking it personally. It's just having a fucking conversation. I hate when you guys sit there and try to personal. Hold on, sir.
Personalization in it.
Let him finish.
Hold on,
Let him finish.
Hold on, sir.
Finish.
I hate when you niggas. I hate when you niggas try to personalize shit and tell niggas how they feel because they in a quality conversation. Sir, please. Okay, so you can go do that on mute, bro. Right? You could do that on mute, or you could leave quietly since you don't want to be in a conversation with two niggas who's having it. You just inserted yourself.
You could go into a
no, you missing the point, sir. You missing the point. You missing the point.
What time is it?
All right, man. Once again, we keep talking about what it is versus if it's powerful or not. Power doesn't necessarily have to do with what is. You can identify with something as powerful before it's even used. So y'all keep saying here and centering it on, well, I need this case study and I need this. That is only a piece of the puzzle when it comes to talking about power. I don't understand why we're being so obtuse about that. Once again, niggas didn't need to know to detonate the atom bomb to know that it was more powerful than a fucking grenade. They didn't need to do that.
Did.
No, they didn't, sir. Sir, they knew it was going to be more powerful because they understood the potential. They understood the principle of potential energy.
People just say smart things that people can't really test.
Okay, once again, sir, you can go on mute. I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the stage. You can go on mute. I appreciate it.
The stage ain't really listening no more.
Yeah, okay, so, sir, you can go on mute and you can have your chance to talk to him when he's on mute. But please go on mute.
No, you don't understand that.
Yo, come on, man. Come on. All that catty shit, man.
Just
We ain't doing all that shit, man.
Just calm it down, brother. Just
All right,
keep it calm, brother.
We ain't doing all that catty shit, man. Y'all bugging right now, yo. Keep the conversation going, moving forward, please.
I be trying to talk.
No, Trap, I'm asking you, please, Trap, can you ask a new question?
Look at this, Trap. Look at
Let
this
him
shit,
finish saying what he's saying now. I'm about to be out of it anyway. This the last one.
Nah, I'm good, brother. Nah, I'm good. I want to make sure you know you're good.
Please ask
I'm about to pack it up. Yo, man.
That's
thank you for coming out, man. Yo, great combo tonight, y'all. Until we do it again. Don't forget tomorrow, man. Yo, listen. Add that to your reminders right there on the top right there. You know what I'm saying? 4 o'clock tomorrow, we will be doing the battle. You know what I'm saying? Virginia versus Queens. You know what I mean? Pull up for it. We want to have a great event, man. I'm going to post it up, man, on the Instagram, everywhere I can post it up at. Make sure we get this shit filled up. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be dope, though. But 4 o'clock tomorrow, though. That's why I'm going to take it down now. Appreciate everybody pulled up, though, man. Again, though, man, I hope y'all subscribe to the YouTube, man. Try to get the YouTube pumping. Yo, Hamberlin.
Outside.
Ready tomorrow, baby.
Open our outside, okay.
Outside room.
Hell yeah, my boy.
Yeah, they're going outside?
Outside.
I'm out, y'all.
Yeah, we intellectual.
I'm out, y'all.
Let's get it.
I'll let y'all later. Yeah, appreciate everybody that was in the YouTube. Everybody that's on the Twitter watching it. Appreciate y'all. Share it. You know what I mean? Stay tuned. We're gonna have some dope shit going on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter or X. I'm out.